1:15. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news, edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Indrani Senanayake. The headlines. A plan to develop the Anuradhapura and Kandy districts as a main tourist destination is underway. The government proposes to provide a direct cash subsidy to low-income families who depend on kerosene oil. The Prime Minister says that the government was able to solve some of the existing problems to a certain extent. The Supreme Court today commenced the hearing of 9 petitions filed challenging the 22nd Amendment to the Constitution. In foreign news, Pakistani police have charged former Prime Minister Imran Khan under the anti-terror law. President Ranil Wickremesinghe says that the aim is to develop the Anuradhapura and Kandy districts as tourist destinations. Opportunity should be made for tourists to remain in these districts for a long period of time. He also stated that tourists who visit the ancient Nile River Valley in Egypt stay there for about a week or more, but the tourists who visit Sri Lanka do not spend much time in these historic places. He reiterated that this situation should change. Minister of Power and Energy Kanchana Wijasekara says that the government has proposed the provision of a direct cash subsidy to low-income families in the fisheries and plantation sectors that depend on kerosene oil. He made this announcement after the Petroleum Corporation increased the price of kerosene yesterday. The Ceylon Petroleum Corporation says that the price of kerosene oil has been increased by 253 rupees with effect from last night. Accordingly, the revised price of kerosene per litre will be raised from 87 rupees to 340 rupees. He said the kerosene price revision was a must and it has not been revised for many years. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. We continue with local news. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena says that the government and the people are facing the severest economic crisis in its recent history. The government will take the utmost decision to rescue the country from the existing crisis. He said the support of the people is of utmost importance in this task. At this juncture, it is possible to provide solutions to some of the problems faced by the people of the country. But as a government, there are many more important decisions to be made to solve the rest of the other problems faced by the country. The Supreme Court today commenced hearing of 9 petitions filed against challenging the 22nd Amendment to the Constitution. The hearing of the petitions is held before a 3-judge bench consisting of Chief Justice Jayanta Jayasuriya, Justice Bhuvanika Alavihare and Arjuna Obesekara. The Attorney General has been named as the respondent in the petitions. The petitioners claim that the draft bill of the 22nd Amendment to the Constitution proposed to be presented to the current Constitution by the government was submitted to the parliamentary agenda on the 10th of August. The petitioners have also alleged that certain clauses in it are against the provisions of the present Constitution. The IGP has instructed the police to hand over IUSF convener Vasantha Mudalige and 2 others to the Terrorist Investigation Division if they are suspected to be involved in any terrorist activities, the police spokesman said. It was reported yesterday that on the instruction of the IGP, C.D. Vikramaratne, the questioning of Inter-University Students' Federation convener Vasantha Mudalige and 2 others would be handed over to the Criminal Investigation Department. Next, we take a look at the main news story.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The Chinese high-tech research vessel Yuan Wang 5, which had arrived in the island last week, is scheduled to leave for China today. Accordingly, it has been informed that the ship will leave for China at 4 p.m. today. That was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Watch live is brought to you by
A Strength to Your Life. CIB Janajaya Vasana has commenced. Valuable gifts and all bills are on 31st of October. Come to CIB today.
Applications for the language inspection test for jobs in the fishing sector in Korea will be issued from today. The Sri Lanka Foreign Employment Bureau said that it will be conducted online until the 26th of this month. That was Watchlight.
A Strength to Your Life. CIB Janajaya Vasana has commenced. Valuable gifts and all bills are on 31st of October. Come to CIB today.
World News. First, the headlines. Pakistani police have charged former Prime Minister Imran Khan under the anti-terrorism law. Wargaming a North Korean attack. Daughter of Putin ally killed in Moscow blast. Pakistani police have charged the country's former Prime Minister Imran Khan under anti-terrorism laws. The investigation comes after the accused, the police and the judiciary, of detaining and torturing his close aide. Tensions are high in the country, with the former leader's supporters gathering outside his house, vowing to take action if he is arrested. Since being ousted in power in April, Mr. Khan has been a vocal critic of the government and the country's army. South Korea and the US are holding their largest joint military exercises on the Korean peninsula in years to practice fighting a war against an increasingly hostile North Korea. The BBC was given rare access to the country's Joint Control Center. But what is the purpose of these war games, and could they backfire? Deep in a military bunker outside Seoul, two Air Force colonels sit shoulder to shoulder. One is American, the other South Korean. The daughter of close ally of Russia's President Vladimir Putin has been killed in a suspected car bombing. Daria Daugina, 29, died after an explosion on a road outside Moscow. Russia's investigative committee, who is known as Putin's brain, may have been the intended target of the attack. Mr. Dugin is a prominent ultra-nationalist ideologist who is believed to be a close ally of Russian President. To end this bulletin of world news, we take a look at the headlines again. Pakistani police have charged former Prime Minister Imran Khan under the anti-terrorism law. Wargaming a North Korean attack. Daughter of Putin ally killed in Moscow blast. That ends this bulletin of world news. Next, we take a look at development news. The first saline manufacturing center that is implemented by robot technology is ready to obtain the quality control certificate from Europe. The factory is situated in Pallekele as a project initiated by the Sri Lanka Investment Board. The factory, constructed at a cost of 9 billion rupees, is producing 55 million saline bottles annually. The country's annual requirement is 15 million bottles. Currently, the produce is being exported to the European market. That was development news.
Sports news is brought to you by
Sampath Bank. We present your future.
Madhivanan Rajkumaran has won a gold medal at the Diba Classic bodybuilding event held in Dubai. He participated at the 70 kilogram weight category. 279 players from 19 different countries have been nominated for the KFC BBL 12 draft, with the nomination period now officially closed. The inaugural BBL draft will take place on the 28th of this month. It has been reported that the names of 8 Sri Lankan players have been proposed for the BBL.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
SoftLogic Retail Private Limited, a fully owned subsidiary of SoftLogic Holdings plc and one of Sri Lanka's leading consumer electronic and furniture retail networks, recently partnered with world-renowned multinational consumer electronics brand Walton to introduce the Walton brand of TVs to the Sri Lankan market. That was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Green gram cultivation has been carried out on 8,000 hectares of paddy land under the Kirindi Oya program. Water for the cultivation will be supplied by the Yoda Vaver, Tissa Vaver, Debara Vaver and Viravilla Vaver. More harvests can be reaped within a 2 months period of time.
LOLC Finance is taking the power of innovation to the next level, winning 5 golds at the Technovation Awards 2022, leading the digital revolution with cutting-edge interbanking digital payments. LOLC Finance claims the overall gold award whilst also claiming an extraordinary victory in digital banking. LOLC Finance will continue to innovate with the next generation digitalization of financial services, delivering a superior customer experience.
And finally, we take a look at the weather report. The Met Department says showers or thunder showers will occur at several places over most parts of the island during the evening or at night. Heavy showers, about 100 millimeters, can be expected at some places in the Sabaragamuwa, Central, North Central, Uva and the southern provinces. To end this afternoon's news broadcast, we take a look at the headlines again. A plan to develop the Anuradhapura and Kandy districts as a main tourist destination is underway. The government proposes to provide a direct cash subsidy to low-income families who depend on kerosene oil. The Prime Minister says that the government was able to solve some of the existing problems to a certain extent. The Supreme Court today commenced the hearing of 9 petitions filed challenging the 22nd Amendment to the Constitution. In foreign news, Pakistani police have charged former Prime Minister Imran Khan under the anti-terrorism law. That ends this afternoon's news broadcast.